Now this is a little bit of a tricky operation. And I want to explain that because I've screwed this up by trial and error, and I've found a way of doing it. Now, with your little bolts right here, your little screws, not screws, they're bolts. Anyway, I have a little 10 millimeter nut on the end of each one of these deals. And when the bolts are screwed in all the way, you have got to tighten these against the case here as lock nuts. Because if you don't, there's a good chance that when you go to tighten this up right here and start, what it's going to do is this bar right here is going to push against the crank right here. And basically what the puller is going to do is it pulls the case from the halves right here. It'll start to separate right here and right here. But if you don't have a very good tight hold down in here with these lock nuts, then you'll strip those alternator holes and it's no fun. So I'm going to set this up before I start. I want you to start paying attention to this area right here. Once it starts, it'll start to spread, and you'll see just how easy it is to come apart. With my steering wheel puller over here, you can't see the end of it. What I'm going to do is I'll take one hand and I'll put it up here and hold it. And we'll take my wrench here and put it on the end. And I'll start to slowly twist this steering wheel puller in. And the crank likes to move with it just a little bit. Oh! Uh-oh. What was that? Did you hear that pop? That was the case. The case is being split. And they're splitting right now. What's happening is bearings are coming out of their races probably on this side. This side right here. The bearing is still attached to the crank. That's what the bearing sounds like when it's being pulled away from its fitted area. So yeah, I got it good. That's good. Okay. You can see the cases start to split right here. It's just a simple matter of giving it a little pressure. It's not rocket science. Anyone can do this. If you have a Minarelli engine or something like this. Now the way this one's working, actually the bearing's staying. That's where I've never seen them do that before. The bearing is actually staying in the case. But as you slowly do it, you can see it starts to get wobbly here. It'll get a little bit wobbly, and then all of this will it'll just fall. Remember, the bearings are only a ½ inch, I don't know, 10 millimeters deep. So that's all you have to go. And this is how you split the cases. Now, it just released, so there's no pressure. So I can basically very easily, hopefully, pull this apart right here. They have a little bit of glue in between the cases. Look at that. The bearing actually stayed in there. I've never seen that happen before. Usually the bearings stay on the shaft right here. But that's how you split the case right there. But most of the time the bearing stays on there. And you can just tap that up. That's no big deal. Now on the other side, what I like to do on this side over here is I will take the My hands are kind of greasy, so I'm just going to move this around a little bit. What I will do is I will take the driven face off, I'll take the variator off, and then I just have a blank crankshaft in on the other side, and I'll take a little hammer and I'll tap it. I'll go tap, 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 and either the crank and the bearing will come out, or just the crank and it will leave the bearing in the other side like this one. And that's how we split the cases on to start a stroker. And you can see it's not easy. You don't have to pay somebody 85 bucks an hour to do it because they're laughing at you while they're taking your money. Especially if you live out, somewhere where you can't find a good mechanic. And good mechanics, unless you trust them like they're your relative, then you really got to be careful. Okay.